Is there more snow on the way for the Sierra this week?
Yeah.
Is there really?
Yeah, there is. I mean, even still to go over the next 3 days, we have our chance here for the next 3 days of scattered showers. It just keeps snowing up there like that whole
crazy,
time.
Man.
Could be another 3 feet coming on top of
lot.
what they've already. Let me show you some snow here closer to home. This is from the camera on top of Mount Diablo. So Mount Diablo sits just under 4,000 feet high at the top. 3,849 feet to get to the top of Mount Diablo. So this stuff's probably at about 3,500 feet. This is the only white stuff on the ground you're going to see anywhere in the Bay Area for the most part that is snow. If you're below 2,000 feet, which is the overwhelming majority of us, it's hail. And I'm saying that because there's likely going to be more of that coming. The video we showed you earlier of ice on 280 through San Jose, that was from the hailstorm that went through earlier this morning. And if we look at First Alert Doppler now, there are plenty of on-again, off-again showers. You're going to get more blue sky over the next 3 days than anything else. But there's always going to be the chance for an isolated shower and occasional thunderstorm to come through. That's the forecast from now through Wednesday. First Alert Doppler is just going to look like this. We've got one coming in now into Marin, but if we put it into the Futurecast, I'm not even going to focus on individual cells. I'm just going to let it go for the next 3 days. Never really turns off. Most of the time, you're not getting rained on, but if you get one of those cells, it's a good little show. And the snow level's actually going to climb a little higher over the next few days. So anything that does come down on Bay Area roadways, and it's entirely possible this could happen for your part of the bay, because it could happen anywhere. Small hail, small little ice, ice little beads that'll come down, and you get your experience with that. In some cases, it can accumulate on the roadways, and you're like, what is that stuff? And that's what we saw in San Jose earlier this morning. And then it just sticks around for a little while if you get a lot of it. But that's the way it goes through Wednesday. It'll add up to about a ½ inch of rain in general if you just kind of lump it all together as, what are the odds? But you could get heavier rainfall amounts than that for your part of the bay if you get one of those cells right over you. Thursday, this is going to stop. And then we need to look ahead to the next storm, but more on that in 1 second. First, here's the answer to that snow question, because the mountains are so good at forcing every last little bit out of these systems as they're overhead, and there's plenty of cold air up here. It just keeps snowing in the Sierra. It's another 3.5 feet of snow in general coming to the higher elevations up there. We are in a historic year. Keeps going like this, it could be the snowiest winter on record in the Sierra. It would eclipse 82, 83. We're on a path to do that. Doesn't mean we will, but we're on that trajectory. Okay, Thursday, you get a break. No rain. Friday, we get an entirely different kind of storm, and this is something that's going to start probably becoming a much bigger story, because as we look ahead to Friday at the longer range, there's something very distinctive about where that rain's coming from. Friday's rain is not going to be like the last week and a half. It's not going to be lots of snow in the mountains and very cold. It will be relatively warmer, and it will be a lot wetter. So right now, the forecast for Friday shows what could be the development of a moderate strength atmospheric river directed at California. Very different from the storms we've been experiencing. Much more widespread rain. We're starting to see that now with higher confidence. And while we're not going to the bank on this forecast just yet, this is probably the most responsible way to look at a forecast for Friday, Saturday. We're not using what we call the operational model. Instead, we're using the ensembles. It's what do all the forecast models together come up with, so we're not just relying on one of them. And this is the best thinking of our highest powered forecast computer models right now for Friday through Sunday. We could see 1.5 inches of rain in that time frame. It's close enough now to start thinking about this. So it'd be a more, clearly a rainier scenario for us. But if snow level climbs to, say, 5,000, 6,000 feet in the Sierra, now we're putting rain on a lot of that low elevation snow. That then increases the runoff, and it does increase the concern for some flood scenarios, particularly through the foothills of the Sierra. But it's a big story to watch, and we're going to talk about it a lot more as the forecast becomes clearer as we approach Friday and Saturday.